Hello, it's Sebastian from AskSebby, and today we are going to talk about the Capital One Savor card and how it does in 2019, given that they did add a bunch of new partners. For this video, we will be using a calculator that we ended up building, so we'll walk through all of the points and also discuss a bunch of details that you might want to know. To me, this is a pretty interesting card given that it has a really good sign-up bonus, very good multipliers, and also a downgrade path to a no annual fee card in the second year if you realize that this card isn't for you. Before we dive into everything though, let me know down below if you are someone who has this card and what's been your experience with it. Also, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Diving right into the calculator, and one of the key benefits of the card, you're going to get a $500 cashback sign-up bonus for $3,000 of minimum spend in the first 3 months of having the card. One of the really good things about the sign-up bonus is that it's relatively high for cashback ones. A lot of other ones are about $150 back after $500 of minimum spend, which is fine, it's low-hanging fruits, but if you have normal spend or if you have high spend, you're going to blow by those in maybe 1 week or 2 weeks. $500 cashback divided by $3,000 to spend is going to be about 17% return on your spend. So right off the bat, that's already really good before even considering the other multipliers. Jumping into the cashback calculator, one of the big reasons we're talking about this is because they are going to give you 8% cashback for Vivid Seats. In case you're wondering, you can buy tickets for sporting events, concerts, and things like musicals on Vivid Seats. In the past, I have sold tickets on Vivid Seats, and I've noticed that I actually have to list tickets a bit lower than other platforms just because there's a bit less traffic. As someone buying tickets though, this ends up being a good thing because they tend to be a bit more competitive, in the past at least. If you're someone who goes to a lot of concerts or you like sports, this ends up being a no-brainer. 8% cashback is pretty much unseen in terms of other cards. For dining, you're going to get 4% cashback, and same thing with entertainment. So dining is pretty straightforward, we're not going to dive into that one as much. Entertainment is very interesting because it's a very broad category. Jumping over to Flyer Talk, we can see a bunch of merchant codes that actually work. One quick side one for the dining category is that for this card, bars and nightclubs do work. I know some people complain that with the Amex Gold card, you're not actually getting 4x back for alcohol, but you are here. For entertainment, there's a giant list. I'm not going to read through all of it, but I think the ones that are interesting to me are going to be movie theaters, sports, tourist attractions and exhibits, amusement parks, carnivals, and circuses, and aquariums and zoos. And for someone that travels, I feel like those end up being very high spend categories, so it's just very, very good. Amusement parks end up being a very advantageous one, especially if you go to places like Universal or Disney World, because those trips end up being very expensive. I think I read online that the average trip is about $1,200 or $1,500 per person. So if you have a family of 4, that's something like $6,000 for food, tickets, and accommodations before even considering the tickets there to fly, or if you're driving, maybe then that's a bit cheaper. The other categories are not that interesting, so grocery stores are going to get 2% back, and for all other purchases, you're getting 1% back. One of the benefits of the calculator is that you can calculate how much cash back you're going to get for different situations. So these are going to be the pros of the card. The big disadvantage though is that there is an annual fee, but it's waived in the first year. So in the first year, this card is a no-brainer, good sign-up bonus, very good multipliers, but in the second year, what are you going to do? For some people, based off your spend, especially for entertainment, I think it's going to make sense to keep this card. If you're someone who goes to Disney World every year or Universal every year, I think you're going to easily break even on this card, if not come out ahead. For other people, if you start to get negative expected value, or if you just have better options in terms of the opportunity cost, then I would recommend downgrading this card to the no annual fee Savor 1 card. Basically the same type of card, but the multipliers are a bit smaller. Knowing Capital One and knowing their strategy with partners, I think that at some point, even if they get rid of Vivid Seats as a partner, or one of the other partners that we'll talk about in a second, they'll add a new partner and make sure that the card is very competitive. The final benefit is going to be Postmates Unlimited, which gets you a $9.99 credit every month that you end up paying for that membership. Jumping back to the calculator, I think for most people in year 1, you're going to come out way ahead. In year 2, you need to see whether it makes sense. On that note, if you do want to learn more about this card and you want to support our channel, pretty easy way to do that would be to use the links on our site or the links in the description box down below. One final thing is that Capital One has been pretty good to their card members in the past. I know some people who had the Savor card before they ended up splitting it off into 2 cards, and they still have the Savor card, but they're not paying an annual fee. This can obviously change in the future, but for right now at least, they seem very customer focused. Hopefully that was helpful. Let me know if you guys have any questions. My question for you guys is, what are your thoughts on this card? What are your thoughts on this offer? What do you think is the most interesting use case for it? If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps us out. If you know anyone else who'd benefit from what we just talked about, feel free to share it with them because it's probably going to help them out. But otherwise, hope you guys liked it. See you guys next time.